One of America's most historic and enduring cities, New Haven, is beset with a perpetual struggle with its identity, torn between worlds. When asked where they come from, New Haveners will often revert to this default trope, telling non-locals that they come from a town in Connecticut, on the East Coast, somewhere between New York City and Boston, as though New Haven, as long established as either of its counterparts, is just a dot on the map, a pit stop between two of America's greatest cities. The identity crisis runs deeper than simple geography in the Elm City, its nickname based on the number of elm trees that once flourished there. At the same time, it is both a part of New England and yet still considered an outer part of the New York City commuter band. It is both a Yankees town and Red Sox country. Depending which bar you walk into, you can find either a framed picture of Mickey Mantle hanging above the top shelf liquor or a vista of Fenway Park's Green Monster. Locals are split on which Worcester Street pizzeria they prefer, Frank Pepe's, established 1925, or Sally's a Pizza, established 1938. Some are divided on if the best pastries come from Luchabello's, established 1929, or Libby's, established 1922. Like so many cities around the world, it is also a place that is cut down the middle by a river, the Quinnipiac, which curves through North Haven and splits New Haven from its eastern suburbs and satellite towns. The Quinnipiac empties into the Long Island Sound in the shadow of the Pearl Harbor Memorial Bridge, a section of the I-95 corridor upon which so many out-of-towners speed through in a blur each day on the way to someplace else, like New York or Boston. New Haven is a city where direction matters more than it does elsewhere. For example, when you say the Rock, it is essential to qualify whether you mean East Rock or West Rock. New Haven itself is bounded on three sides by the towns of East Haven, North Haven, and West Haven. There would probably be a South Haven, too, if not for the interruption of the water's edge. On the fringes of town, the urban jungle begins to dissipate and give way to a quintessential New England coastline, complete with blinking lighthouses and hazy views of Long Island on the horizon. New Haven straddles different worlds in other, more consequential ways as well. It is, on one hand, home to an Ivy League college populated by young people of means, opportunity, and privilege. But step outside those hallowed halls, and a different version of New Haven snaps into focus. A world in which homelessness, addiction, and mental health crises are commonplace. Now go to the other side of the Richard C. Lee Connector, a spur road that aggressively severs downtown from The Hill, a diverse working-class neighborhood struggling with the usual urban problems of violence and drugs, while at the same time fighting gentrification to save itself from total erasure, like what happened to the Oak Street community in the decades before. On the surface, New Haven might appear to be a place that lacks an identity of its own, struggling in the shadow of better-known cities to its north and south.